Hello guys, welcome back. This is God's on Goal. It's the 29th of December and the year is basically coming to an end. I hope you've had a very nice festive season, especially with the Christmas. If you had time to spend with family, with friends, you had some good food, you're safe on the road. That's quite important because we need most of you guys, if not all of you, next year. So yes, thank you so much. This is Goats on Goal podcast, and today we're going to talk about basically the chances of Arsenal winning the league. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I thank you so much for the subscribers who are here, and for those who have been sharing the links to my video, the viewers that I'm getting. So yes, that is also important, and it's going to be not quite a long podcast, just a short one, and to basically it's been like the talk of the season. Like, are Arsenal ready to now win the title? Because now we are halfway now across the season. We've been counting game upwards. Like, it's only one game, it's only 5 games, it's only 10 games, it's only 15. Now we are at game week 19. Now basically we are going to the return legs. We haven't faced Bournemouth yet, but that's a case for every team. There are teams who haven't faced each other yet. So, but they're going to be facing them in the next leg. And we were lucky enough. I think us and Manchester United. I think the only two teams that are lucky enough to face the same teams twice in 1 month. Since you'll be facing Aston Villa first, and then Manchester United will be facing Wolves. So yes, that's the only discrepancy that is there. But yes, the title race is now on officially. Now we'll be counting only 19 games left, only 15 games left, only 10 games, only 5 games. The league is going to end next week. So that is how we'll be counting down now since it's the new year. And we also now, this is the year now where you challenge for the trophies that are in front of you. Because at the start of the season, it's where we have the new players gelling in, some getting a bit of momentum, showing your intention on how you're going to be approaching the league the next season. Maybe you're going to be facing injuries here and there. You're going to see some players recovering and picking up form. You're going to see your top four performers, especially the top performers at Arsenal. I can only name like 3 players, and in no particular order. One is David Raya. The second one is Declan Rice, always available. And the third one, the top three, I had to choose between Trossard and Saka. And Saka has been really, really important in the team, and he's ever been there. So yes, Saka is there. So in no particular order, but honorable mention to Trossard, who has been magnificent. Zubimendi has also been great. And to some extent, before his injury, Calafiori was reliable and he was good. And Julian Timber. Basically, the whole team requires applause. But the best performers, and it has been evident till now that if you miss them, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be Saka, Declan Rice, and David Raya. Those are the 3 players I can say they're the top there. But then the span of our club, it also includes Saliba there. There's also Gabriel, who is come back from injury. There is also Odegaard, the team, Trossard, like I mentioned, Merino is with his goals, and also basically every player in the team. Martinelli in the Champions League has been fantastic also. So yes, when the new year hits, now this is when teams must now hit form, because every point gained, every game won is crucial to how your season will end up, and it will show the ambitions that your team has. And this season was, written as a make or break season for Mikel Arteta and his guys. And to be fair, I think it's not too much pressure on him, because now after finishing second 3 times in a row, and being on top, especially the first season that we challenged for the league, being on top for all that time and losing it over the last maybe 8 or 9 games, now that was brutal. The other 2 seasons, we know how it went. The previous season, not the last season, the previous season that Man City won. It went until the last day, but we couldn't win. Last season, it was a free fall for everyone else, and Liverpool won unchallenged. So we can also talk about that. So this season is a little bit different, if not the same as usual, because the usual top six teams are actually the top six teams apart from Spurs, because Arsenal is first, Manchester City is second, Aston Villa they are normally is on third. Liverpool, with all their problems that they've had this season, they're actually fourth, and then we have Manchester United at fifth, if not Chelsea, fifth or sixth in Chelsea. Yes, so it's only Spurs missing from the top six. So as it stands, the top six teams are performing like the top six teams, and fair enough, they are there because they've been winning games. And for Arsenal is a different case this season because now we are talking about winning trophies, and we need to have that feeling of winning something. And I even mentioned in my previous podcast that it is important that we win the Carabao Cup. It doesn't matter what anyone says, it doesn't matter what rival says, but for my team and for my pride, it is important to watch us winning the Carabao Cup at Wembley. It is also important for us to go on another Champions League run. Minimum should be semis. Minimum. Like if we fail again, it should be in the semis. But if you get to the final, we just have to go and win it because we don't get this as history has been written. It is not necessarily important to reach a final and don't win, and it's also not easy to get into that specific final. You'll not be fortunate enough to get into a final. So if you get to the final, please make sure and win. So yes, and also in the FA Cup, we needs to go at least past the third round because every single time for the past 3 or 4 years, we've been getting knocked out in the FA Cup and going to hang out in Dubai. And once the Dubai Arsenal kicks in, it's one scary team because the players are refreshed, and then we go on a very, very long winning run. So yes, it is also important that we stay in that cup. For the league, there is no questions. Every point matters. Whether it's 3 points, whether it's 1 point, but currently 3 points are all that matters until we meet Man City again at the Etihad. So 3 points minimum, because I expect Man City to win all their games. I also expect every other team to win all their games. So it's up to us to win our games also. We can't really stop Man City at where they currently are. We managed to make a draw at the Emirates. Quite unfortunate, but we almost losing that game. So I can't really complain so much about that result. So yes, we need to go on a winning. And if you actually see my page right up here, we have the Premier League first and the Champions League second. You see, those two titles are really, really important for this club and for the players in general, because a player like Saliba, I don't think I think he extended his contract because he said he wants to stay at Arsenal and basically win trophies. Not being a good defender, and you haven't won the league, you haven't won the Champions League. So for a player like Saliba, he said it even in preseason, like he wants to win all 4 competitions, a quadruple. I don't know how easy that is. It has never been done before. I don't know whether, as much as it is said that we have one of the best squads in the league, I don't know how feasible is that, but we take it game by game. But if we are really interested in the quad, first of all, we have to win the Carabao Cup. That is one. The second thing, we have to maintain our top spot in the league. And then every other thing will follow up because every team is also fighting for every trophy. For example, the teams that are actually in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, that is Man City, Newcastle, Arsenal, and Chelsea. For example, at Man City, they can talk about a quadruple because they're in all 4 competitions. They know they can win all of them because they've done a treble before. For a team like Newcastle, they would like to defend their Carabao Cup. That will be like 2 trophies in 70 years. So, but 2 successive ones, that's also a good thing. With Chelsea, they haven't won. They of course they've been winning trophies, but they haven't won a domestic trophy in 9 years. So they'd also like to break that curse to win like a domestic trophy. While as for Arsenal, we need a trophy, regardless of which it is, because we've been playing so well. These players haven't had that taste for winning things yet. Yes, we've won the Community Shield, but still, they haven't felt that the taste of being in a final and actually going and winning the whole thing. That would be really nice to see. Because yes, if look at players like, for example, the new players who have come in, the Maduekes, Nogard, Hinkapi, Mosquera, and all the other players, I'd imagine them, shining, flexing their medals, no matter how we view it, flexing their medals on their Instagram pages, for example, or maybe the club posts them, and it's a Carabao Cup trophy. They just joined a club, they are winning, because, for example, like Man City when Pep Guardiola came into the league, I think the first season he only won the Community Shield. I think, if not the Community Shield, the second season and the third season and the fourth season, as much as he won the league, he made sure that he won the Carabao Cup. And that was good because that is the first cup early in the season. I mean, I don't expect anything less from that, but that is the first cup early in the season, and they know that if you add that trophy, you're going to win. It's pretty simple. They've also known to go on like crazy runs, like 15 game winning run, 16, 17, 20 games. So they know if they keep the momentum of winning, that also includes winning the trophies that are in front of you. It also means that winning other games, will find it quite easy, if not possible. So yes, we have to win the Carabao Cup. We have to go on a good run in the FA Cup again, at least. We have to maintain our top spot in the league, no matter who we are playing. And also, we have to reach the semis again now and try to reach the final of the Champions League. Once we get there, I can say if we end up with winning the league alone only, I'll be very happy. I'll be extremely happy because after finishing second 3 times in a row and going and winning the league, I will hardly care of what people say. They told that it is impossible and we go on and win it. Trust me, I will hardly care. I will hardly care what people say. Yes, we might have won the quadruples, but still we have won the league after more than 2 decades of not winning it. Because in my lifetime, let's say in my life of supporting Arsenal, I can confidently say I've only I've not seen us win the league, to be very honest. Yes, I was an Arsenal supporter while I was young, but I wasn't too understanding. Yes, I was alive when when we won the Invincible. I was alive also when we won in '99. So I was alive in those at least 2 to 3 titles. Actually, the titles that Wenger won, I was alive in all of them. But being an Arsenal supporter, like genuinely, like following games, watching players like Van Persie, Nasri, Fabregas, watching them. I was still young, but I didn't see them win a league. To be very honest, I did not see them win a league, and I haven't seen it, and I would love to see it. So winning the Premier League for me would do me wonders. I would be able to speak around my peers, speak around the rival fans that we are the league champions. You can say whatever you want, whether we have a Champions League or not, but we are the league title. Like I'll ask you, when was the last time your team won the league? I can be able to ask that question to my rivals, and I can be, working as a English champion is the best thing you can ever imagine. It will be the best, scenario to put yourself in. So yes, if we go on and win the Champions League, I mean, bruh, all the arguments that we've been having online of how Arsenal is will be gone because they'll not have any stick to beat us with. Because once we come up with facts and talk about our team, they'll still talk about how we haven't won the Champions League. And it is a very valid point because a team like Arsenal, with the stature that we have, we should be winning the league. We should be winning the Champions League. We should have won at least one. But unfortunately, we've only been to one final, which we lost. I think, yes, I didn't watch that game, but I can say I watched that game, but I was watching the replays and whatever was happening. Yeah, it wasn't a good sight, you know. We haven't won the Carabao Cup in my lifetime. I have I don't yes, I haven't seen even as Wenger didn't win the Carabao Cup while it was being called the Carling Cup. So that also would like break so many records. Even for Arteta as a coach, like yo, I've gone and won this in my career. I've gone and won the FA Cup, the Champions League, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, the Community Shield. Like he said, he can put himself in such conversations because as much as people call it the Mickey Mouse Trophy, all these great managers who have been in the EPL, they have won the Carabao Cup. They have, and it's quite unfair not to say that Arteta doesn't need to win it because it's a Mickey Mouse. No, he has to win it because every other coach has done it. So why can't he? And also, it put himself in the history of Arsenal books. Like he'll be the last manager to win the Carabao Cup after certain manager who is not Arsene Wenger. So yes, that's also important. Winning the Champions League for Arteta, bruh. They want to put a statue for him. They can. Of course, so somebody will find this clip and cut it, and you know, um, sorry for that interruption. I'm going to see something cut because I had some technical difficulties. But yes, Arteta needs to win something this season. I'd be very happy if we end up winning, let's say, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. You see, those are cups, two of them. Maybe we don't have a squad good enough, or we aren't really as competent enough to go and win the league and the Champions League. But that's not an excuse for not winning something. You know, we know how good Man City is. We know how the league, how we've been performing in the league, and how this manager adapts to teams, and how we crucify him when he makes funny decisions in games, when he makes subs, when uh, when Arteta does this thing of tactical tweaking or putting players out of position. I don't know. Sometimes something just happens in between the season, and we end up dropping points, and we end up losing confidence, and we don't end up winning the league. Now we start chasing, and us chasing a club. I don't remember the last time we chased anyone and won the league. I don't remember. I don't think it has happened, but it is important to be in the conversation either way. So I want something this season. I want to be able to say yes. We might have not maybe won the league, we don't know won Champions League, but yo, here are our two trophies that includes the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. If we reach the final of the Carabao Cup and we don't win it, it's going to be a failure because it also means that this manager is not getting us over the line when it needs to be done. You know, if you end up maybe winning the Carabao Cup and the league, that's a plus. Those are two trophies. You know, two trophies in a season. That's a plus. You know, you go and win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. That's also a plus. You've made sure the cup games with your big squad because the squad depth is important in these cup games, and you can be able to, you know, get results from wherever you want. So it is important to win games either way. So yes, I think our chances of winning the league this season look good. They aren't as bad as people put it. Yes, we've been winning games, especially this month. We've been winning games in very unkind manner. I can say we have been the happiest fans to watch us, you know, win games this season. This especially this month after that loss to Aston Villa. It has been tough, and also before even the loss that came at Aston Villa, um, our games weren't really convincing to say the least. But at this point, I've seen us being convincing in games. I've seen us, you know, like pressuring the opponent and doing things that I haven't seen my team doing, and still we haven't gotten over the line. So getting such results while playing maybe poorly or not finishing our chances, well, sometimes it might come to bite us back, which normally happens in any football match. But to be fair, I think we need this kind of luck. On goals, penalties, scoring one, trying to defend, not putting pressure on the opponent, creating chances, not finishing them. I mean, that's basically the history of what is happening in the league. We need that kind of luck to go and win games. And funny enough, we've gone to all majority of the hard grounds that include St. James, Anfield, Old Trafford. We haven't been to Sellers Park yet. Villa Park, we've been to Villa Park. Which other place? We still are yet to go to Etihad. What other team? I don't think there's any other big team that is left that we have to play away. We've been to Stamford Bridge. We still have to go to Spurs, but Spurs is shit. But yes. So our prospect of winning the league this season look good if we maintain this run that we have. And we also have to beat Aston Villa tomorrow. There is no other way around it. We have to beat Aston Villa tomorrow. That is the only way that you can guarantee to be in the title race. Because now, when we don't win against Aston Villa and Man City wins their game, and most likely Aston Villa will be above us, we are going to be dropping from first to third. That's how life can change immediately. Now we'll be depending on our opponents to help us to beat them, or we are going to be hoping that these teams drop points. And now we're going to at the Etihad with no advantage. They'll be leading the league. They'll be ready for us. So it is important that we win that game and maintain our top spot. We don't need to lose. We don't need to draw. We need a minimum of 3 points. And the meltdown that is going to happen if we don't win Aston Villa, bro, it's going to be long. It's going to be a very, very bad way to start the year. It's going to be a very, very disgusting way to show your title credentials. So yes, we have to win against Aston Villa, because I know Man City is going to win their games. I know Aston Villa is going to be pushing for winning their games. But the first step, since Aston Villa are on a very, very good run, but the first step is to actually beat Aston Villa. And then after that, we can focus now on the second legs. And we have 9 games in January. That also includes Carabao Cup semi-final. We have Champions League versus Inter Milan. We also have an FA Cup game. We also have to face Man United at the end of the month. So yes, it's an important month. Just need momentum before we get a break, maybe mid-February, I guess. And if you're still in all competitions, well and good, because that means by the end of February we'll be waiting now to go to Wembley for a final. That is one. Number 2, we will be at if not the last 16, the last 8 in the Champions League, because we are going to go to the next round without playing a playoff games. That's also 2. The third thing will also go on like 2 or 3 games into the FA Cup, heading now to the quarters and semis. That's also a good thing. And also, if we end up also going to be facing Liverpool in January, so that's also important. Also, if we end up winning most of our games in the league, we're still going to be on top. So talking about a quadruple at that moment won't be the worst thing to say online or anything. But we know our priority has to be the league. That is number 1. Number 2, the next priority is win the Carabao Cup. Win a cup. Win something. We've reached the semis now. There's no excuse but to reach the final and go and win it. And then go further into the FA Cup and try as much as possible. Have a good run in the Champions League. If that's how the season will end, with us winning everything, we'll thank God. We'll thank God, and our rivals will be crying. But the only way to make these people, just shut up, is just go and win the league. We don't have to do much. Actually, we don't have to do much. If you actually go on and win the league, that elevates us into a different team, different animal, because now the players will be like, okay, I am here. I'm an English champion. I'm going to stay. We can be able to attract players now because they see this is the title winning team. They'd like to maintain their title winning credentials as it stands. If by any chance you go on and win the Champions League, bruh, I know it is not possible to win a second one in a row, but then again, just one Champions League changes the history of our club immensely. Changes the history of many many players in our team. Changes the history of our coach. Changes. It just elevates us into a different beast altogether. You get? So yes, it is very very important for us to be winning stuff. So my prediction for this season, or rather my preference, I just want to win the league. That is all. That should be the bread and butter. It should be on a 38 game winning run. The cups you can get lucky here and there and get to a final and win. That's okay. But in the league, that means you've been consistently winning games and performing, not maybe at your level best, but performing, giving the bare minimum, and the bare minimum should be giving you 3 points. Arsenal should go and win the league. That is all I can ask. If there's anything that the gods can provide us, because now we need divine help because of the injuries that we are having. Our coach sometimes does a madness. The teams that we are facing, they always face us like they are having a cup final. Everything is always against us, but we are not complaining. We don't even want to complain. Just want to go and win the league. Wearing a where's this badge? Yes, wearing a golden badge. Yeah, would be pretty nice. Would be really nice. Would be really nice to see. Golden badge is perfect. Add that to Champions League title. Oh my god. The life of so many Arsenal fans will change. But if you don't win anything again this season, then I'll be the first one to say that we need to change our coach. We need some players gone in the team, because this responsibility doesn't really fall on only the manager. The players also are to be blamed. Some players, I need them out if they don't win us the league. Some players, I need them replaced. I will not mention names, but we know them. There's some players who are just winging it in our team. The manager also is just winging it to some extent, as with all the troubles that he's having. Some of the medical team need to be changed if things don't go well this season. I mean, there's a lot hanging in the balance, but I'm calm. I'm just going to be a fan. But if I have any grievances, of course, I have this platform, and we are very lucky we have a platform to can be able to talk about the problems that we have as a team. So yes, this is God's on Goal. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you after the Aston Villa game. I guess that is tomorrow. Tomorrow night. That is on Tuesday, and I hope we win. And once we win, I'll bring up a very nice match reaction. Wish you a happy new year in general, and we'll be starting the year on top. So yes, thank you so much if you've reached this far, and yes, I appreciate the effort and I appreciate the love that I'm getting. So see you when we can't avoid. Peace.